Good morning, everybody. As promised, we are starting project number 1, which is the installation of 400 amp hours of lithium batteries. 4 100 amp hour batteries. I'm gonna have 6 altogether. As you know, I've got 2 golf cart batteries that are currently my house bank. That's 230 amp hours of 12 volt power right there. But this is going to be the house bank, and the 6-volt golf cart batteries are going to be the reserve bank, or the start bank, however you want to call it. It's that's what's going to happen. Now, my solar is going to connect only to the lithiums, and what I plan to do is, if I ever need to charge or if I ever need to top up the engine start bank, I can simply set the selector switch over to that. You got to be careful with your alternator, especially when it comes to lithium, because a lithium bank can pull amperage so much and so long that you'll burn out a standard alternator. You can't run them at max output very long without burning them up. And what's on that is the stock 35 amp alternator. So my plan is to set the alternator to the deep cycle batteries. Deep cycle batteries, lead acid deep cycle batteries, rapidly build up a resistance as their voltage comes up, so that you don't, and the alternator current will drop down. You're not going to burn up your alternator. At least I haven't yet. What else? Also got some other smaller projects that'll be going along with that. The inverter is almost a separate project in itself, but the inverter is going to connect, of course, to the house bank. But yeah, I'm going to get started on this. I will definitely film bits and pieces of it. I'm going to get started removing the Group 27 first and getting this mounted, and we'll see how it goes. All right, well, here I am down in the locker, and here is what we're looking at. This is going to be our space up here. That's the Group 27, and I'm just going to go ahead and get that disconnected, get it out of the way. So essentially, this is what the finished product is going to look like. This will all be screwed down, of course, and very secure, but that is what I came up with. You know, it's kind of crude, but it's going to be really solid. And you know, the best thing about these darn batteries is the fact that they are so light. You know, these 2 batteries weigh less than that one Group 27, and they're so easy to maneuver in and out. It's just, you gotta love this technology. It's really some good stuff. But anyways, let me get to let me get to drilling and screwing. Shut off. Yeah, so I remember why I wanted 110. Let me show you what I got. Temporary setup. There you go. Got the inverter hooked up to a battery. That's the old start battery right there. But yeah, that's a good reason to have 110. And as you can see, we are making some progress over here, getting our batteries secured. So stuff is happening. Okay, folks, there you have it. She's in. Get some good light there. She's in, and that is secure, man. I'm telling you, that is not going anywhere. The batteries just don't weigh that much. I believe they're 18 pounds a piece. So yeah, that is done. Now I'm gonna get my butt out of this little spot because my knees are not happy. And, all right, well, I'm at a good stopping point for the day. Let me turn off my weird music. Anyways, these are where the other pair will go, right down in here. And I made a little mistake because I forgot how separated this was here. You know, they're not side by side like the other installation, and silly me went ahead and made up the two cables. So this one I can make work, the positive, because that side is fused and I can just point the fuses to each other, as you see I have done there. But the negative one I will have to remake. So yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, quitting for the day. I ran out of lugs. I did not order enough, but I do have everything good. Everything's going well. Keep it going. All right, we are back down on the boat to continue with the battery installation, and I took the time to draw up a chart. Let me show you what I'm planning. So what we've got here is, to the best of my ability, a diagram showing you what I'm planning to do here. At the top, these are my solar panels, okay? The fixed panels and the flexible portable panel. It has its own controller, and this is the controller for the solar panels. They're going to go to a bus which will feed the 4 100 amp hour lithium batteries, okay? Those batteries are going to come down and connect. Well, they're going to go to position number 2 on my battery selector switch, okay? And of course from there it goes over to the distribution panel. So that is one half of what I've got, okay? Now the other half is going to be down here. Here's the alternator for the engine. It's going to feed the golf cart batteries, okay? They're connected in series. It's 12 volts, 230 amps. That's going to go to position 1 on the battery selector switch. The golf cart batteries are going to feed an on-off switch that I showed you. That was over here. This little on-off switch that's going to go to the starter. So they're going to be basically 2 separate systems, okay? You can cross-connect them with the 1-2 the 1-2 combo. I don't know what you call that thing, the one all and off switch. Anyways, with this selector switch that we have over here. Okay, so they can be connected if you need them. They can be connected if you need them to be. But I like this setup. It keeps things simple. And anyways, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not even going to have an ACR. I just don't want to futz with it. This is going to be much simpler. An ACR works both ways, and I just don't want to futz with it. I don't want to have to worry about the alternator getting sucked into the lithiums, you know, and burning up. So this is much simpler, keeps my wiring down, and I like it, and I understand this system. So that's what we're going with. So all that being said, we've got to get down into here and get these secured. We've got to get this out of the way because we have to get into here and get some of our wiring done. So we are going to move some things around, and we're going to have at it, and I'll show you progress as the day goes on. Well, let's squeeze into here one more time because we made a mistake. Oh, here's some of those. The mistake being we did not pay enough attention to what we were doing. It's always a big mistake, but my cables have 2 different size ends for, you know, each end is a little different size. I got this one backwards. So I'm back down in my favorite little spot to redo that one. Oh, joy. Oh, joy. Oh joy. Now, you'll notice that I have a lot more cable right here than I need, and that's just to keep them as close to the same length as possible. They're within a couple of inches of everything being the same length on both banks, to keep the charging, the voltage, the resistance, everything as close as possible. I don't think there's enough difference to really matter. So we're going to call it good. You're not really pulling big loads off of any of this. The biggest thing is going to be the inverter. When I get that hooked up, that will pull quite a bit of amperage. And the water maker eventually that I'm going to have will be a 15 amp load. The inverter could pull as much as, I believe, 50 to 60 amps. And I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to wire that yet, but we're going to figure it out when we get closer to it. I may need to buy a short length of some heavier duty cables, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to mount it back here in the quarter berth. You'll see that I've already got somewhat of a electronics thing going on here as it is. So in any case, that's most likely what I'm going to do. Okay. I've got it. All the batteries are in. The solar is hooked up. And I even went ahead and strung out the portable. It's catching some rays. I've got it hooked up over here. And we're going to take our trusty little ammeter and see what we're getting out of it. All right, here we go. Well, we're getting almost 2 amps. Almost 2 amps of power, and which is good because it's partially shaded. It's a cloudy sky. So, you know, I'm happy with that. And the other one, let us see, come down in here. This, I guess, would be half of what we're getting. Oh, there it is. So, okay, 0.7. All right. That's pretty good out of everything on a cloudy day with the partially shaded panels and everything. Little low headroom here. I'm getting almost 4 amps. So, you know, not bad. Pretty happy that everything just works the way it should. Tired. But yeah, I'm gonna call that good. I've still got to hook the engine back up, and I'll have to bring my hole saw to cut a proper size hole for that battery switch. And I need to check where the alternator is actually going at this point. As I don't know, but I'm not firing up the engine anytime soon. But yes, we're gonna call that a success. I'll come back tomorrow and finish up some stuff, finish up this video, and we'll work on the 120 volt side on another day. But I want to get this video in to show you how everything works.